Rain poured heavily that night, blurring the streetlights and soaking the cracked pavement of a quiet suburban road. At a lonely bus stop, a man sat with a calm stillness that didn't match the storm around him. His clothes were simple, worn boots, a faded jacket, and a cap pulled low over his eyes. To anyone passing by, he looked like just another tired single dad waiting for the late bus after a long day of work. But those who looked closer might have noticed something else, the way his eyes constantly scanned his surroundings, or the faint scars running across his knuckles, telling a story no one dared to ask about. That man was Daniel Brooks, a former Navy SEAL, a widowed father, and a man who had left the battlefield only to fight a new war, raising his young daughter, Lily, alone. Life hadn't been kind since his wife passed away 3 years ago. He worked 2 jobs, a mechanic by day, a security guard by night, doing everything he could to keep food on the table and a smile on his daughter's face. Tonight, he had missed his usual bus because of overtime, and as he sat there, tired and drenched, all he wanted was to get home to tuck Lily in and hear her whisper, "I love you, Dad." But fate had other plans that night. A roar of engines echoed from down the street. 2 motorbikes appeared, slicing through the rain, their headlights cutting the darkness like knives. The bikers slowed near the bus stop, circling once before stopping in front of Daniel. The riders, both young, loud, and clearly looking for trouble, revved their engines, laughing through their helmets. One of them, a tall man with a scar across his cheek, shouted over the rain, "Hey, old man. You got a smoke or something to spare?" Daniel didn't move. His calm eyes lifted, meeting theirs briefly before returning to the ground. "Hey, we're talking to you," the other one barked, stepping closer. He kicked a puddle, splashing water at Daniel's feet. "What, too good to answer?" Daniel's voice was low, almost too calm. "Just waiting for my bus, fellas. Don't want any trouble." The tall one grinned. "Trouble? You look like trouble's scared of you." He leaned in closer, trying to provoke him. "Maybe we should find out." Daniel sighed quietly, eyes closing for a second. He had been in darker places than this, deserts, jungles, and war zones where silence meant survival. But he also knew the cost of violence. He'd promised himself never to use those skills again unless it was absolutely necessary. But tonight, these men were about to cross a line they couldn't uncross. One of the bikers snatched Daniel's old backpack off the bench and unzipped it. Inside were simple things, a lunchbox, a few crumpled bills, and a small photo of Lily. The biker laughed cruelly. "Aw, look, Daddy's little princess. You homeless or something?" Daniel stood up slowly. The rain dripped from his cap as he spoke quietly, "Put that down." The biker smirked. "Or what?" Daniel took a single step forward. His stance changed subtly, shoulders squared, balance perfect, breathing steady. The way a man moves when his body remembers hundreds of missions and battles. The bikers didn't notice the shift, not until it was too late. The taller one swung first, a wild, careless punch. Daniel moved like water, sidestepping and grabbing the biker's wrist mid-swing. In one smooth motion, he twisted, sending the man crashing to the ground, gasping in pain. The other lunged, but Daniel disarmed him in seconds, pulling the man's jacket to break his momentum and pinning him against the bus stop pole. The fight was over before it had even begun. Both men lay in the rain, groaning, shocked that this quiet stranger had dismantled them with such precision. Daniel picked up his backpack, brushed off the mud, and looked down at them. "You picked the wrong guy tonight," he said softly. "Go home before you end up somewhere you can't come back from." The bikers scrambled to their feet, adrenaline replaced by fear. They sped off into the rain, disappearing into the night. Daniel watched them go, then turned as the bus finally arrived, headlights glowing through the storm. When he got home, Lily was waiting on the couch, wrapped in her little blanket, eyes sleepy but worried. "Daddy, you're late." Daniel smiled tiredly, kneeling beside her. "Had to wait for the bus a little longer tonight, sweetheart." He brushed her hair back gently. "But I'm here now." She hugged him tightly. "I missed you. I missed you too, kiddo." Later that night, after she fell asleep, Daniel stood by the window, watching the rain ease up. His reflection looked back at him, older, weathered, but still standing. He thought about those bikers, about how easy it would have been to lose control. But he hadn't. He'd walked away, not because he couldn't fight, but because he finally understood what real strength was, choosing peace when every muscle in your body remembers war. Days later, a knock came at his door. Daniel opened it to find one of the bikers, the tall one, standing there, helmet in hand, bruised but sober. "Sir," he said, voice trembling, "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. You didn't have to let us go that night. I've been thinking about it ever since." Daniel looked at him, silent for a moment, then nodded. "You get second chances in life. Don't waste this one." The young man swallowed hard and nodded before walking away, his head low but heart lighter. Daniel closed the door, turned, and saw Lily watching from the hallway. "Who was that, Daddy?" He smiled. "Someone learning to be better." And maybe, just maybe, Daniel thought, that was the real reason he was still here, not to fight battles, but to remind others how to end them. If you're watching this right now, remember, life will test your patience, your peace, and your strength. But the strongest people aren't the ones who fight every battle. They're the ones who choose compassion when anger feels easier. So if this story touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that true strength comes from within. Because sometimes, the quietest heroes are the ones who've already fought their hardest wars.